Hello everyone and welcome to Workshop Wednesday. And I'm joined by Matt. I'm very well, thank you. I hope you're okay. I did, didn't I? I did. I forgot that. Are you sure? Right, okay. You're silent. I can hear you. Can you hear me? I bet you probably can't hear the desktop audio, can you? That's probably what it is. Can you hear game audio, everyone? I don't really know what's going on with OBS. It's just decided it wants to do things. uh... oh dear. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Right. So there we go. Yeah, that's weird. Alright. Right, that's not that. Yeah, I know we can depart for Carlisle yet, but I've got to sort the audio out first. That is very true. Well thought. Right.
I know what I can do. Talk to people. Ah!
Yeah.
Trying to interfere with anything you're doing, don't worry.
Oh, hang on. Just talk again, Matt.
Hello.
Ah! That should have worked. Has that worked? Can you now hear the game audio? Yeah, you can hear Matt. Right,
You can hear me? Oh.
I really do not know what happened there. I literally just pressed a few buttons and it suddenly went poomp. I was like,
Apparently I'm
okay.
very quiet though, so we're back to last week.
Right. Is OBS having
Matt is very quiet, and so is game audio.
Really? That's really.
How is everybody? Oh, I've got to talk a bit louder. Hello, how is everybody? While Jane makes it to where you can hear everything really fine. Game audio is fine, says Baked Bean Kid. Matt is very quiet. Please mute him. Sorry. 3 guesses.
Right. Let's turn the game audio down a bit.
More volume, says C3. Keep Matt like that, says Spaghetti Raver. You're all really mean.
It's really strange. What have I put that under? That's a point. Default.
Matt sounds tiny.
How does that sound? Is that any better?
Tinny. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. The game is loud, but Matt is not, says T for Tyler. Testing 1, 2, 3. How is the audio now?
I'm sorry, chat. It's just decided it wants to. Yeah. It sounds like he's far away. I must admit that through my speak, you do sound as if you're far away. I will admit that.
Or am I just small?
I don't know. Oh dear, we're having a bit of fun tonight. Ah, yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
Matt wants to leak something, so he speaks quietly. No. No.
Oh, I'm just trying something. Give me a second.
Hey, Ace Kipper got it. Thank you very much, Ace Kipper.
Right, try that now.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now?
And
Is
what?
it better? He's louder now. Woohoo!
That's worked. Right. Now, if I then put the game, how's that?
How are we looking, folks? Are we there?
Are we there? I did have to fiddle about a bit.
Boo! Says Bookie.
Right, I am blowing off a bit, so I'm just going to put the automatic fireman on just for a minute because he can then put the injectors on and sort everything out. I can then release the brakes. So, if you're wondering what we're in, we are in a Britannia. A very, very heavily weathered Britannia.
Lovely, isn't it?
Look at
All
that.
trains should be weathered. That's virtually wrecked.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, bring the reverser setting down. What we'll do is open the injectors. Get the,
Yeah, I've got a 395 in the back. Let me see what else I can find.
There we go, look at that. Black 5 coming in.
Very nice.
That's why I've done that. I wondered why my brakes weren't coming on properly. Now they're off. Right, so I can now leave the small ejector open. Let's just bring it there. Right, we're off now. Finally. Open these cocks. They open. Let me close. Open again.
Matt's head is doing something strange with the green screen. I have tried even turning the lights down. This thing still delivers the shine. What can I say? You don't even need to watch in this room, I'll tell you. It's probably because there's literally a bright white light right above me, and until I get a network cable to plug into the Philips Hue box, I can't actually turn it. Other than using the remote, which is more on and off. So, I'm just going to consider it a superpower from now on, that every time I walk into a dark room, it immediately lights up. It doesn't really work like that, but it would.
Look at this. Look at all the locos and everything. It's lovely.
Ooh, tractor.
Yep.
A couple of 5s.
Sparks coming out of the chimney.
Regulator open.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Steam is amazing, isn't it, Laserjack?
Yeah. Reverser setting down a bit. This has got a reversing lock on it as well.
Is this an advanced series loco?
It is. Yeah. So you can play about with all the buttons. I'll turn on the cab light as well, which is basically the lamp there. Ta-da! It's now on. Filling up the fire, good. Lovely.
First train I know that had that was the one that which was the Black 5 in this pack.
All right.
I found one of the headlamps and added it as a child object and chucked it in there and then scripted it so you could turn it on and off. And yeah, good things.
Awesome. It's
It was probably done before I did it, but it was the first time I'd seen it anyway.
Laserjet, yes, I have seen both Britannias, both Ollie and Britannia.
I capped Ollie at Bressingham.
Yes. Nice.
We had a run up and down there, 16 feet of track.
I've had a run up. I have been on the 16 feet, but I haven't. Unfortunately, not in a cab. Fine
It was
away.
a long time ago now. It was a very long time ago when I was knee high to a grasshopper.
Get a far distance shot, shall we?
Would it be possible to have a camera inside the passenger area that moves with the train and you can move around freely and simulate walking up and down the carriage? Not really, not in TS1. Dean, the closest you get to that is... well, no, not really, actually. I don't think there's any way of doing that. Certainly not moving around freely. I mean, there might be a way they can animate, they can put the camera on something that animates. But even then, I don't think I've seen anybody do that. The closest I've seen to fun stuff going on in the carriage was Repo did some cool stuff with... on the Centipede pack, I think it was. It comes with a Pullman restaurant car, when you press number 5 and you sit in the passenger view, occasionally you'll see the door at the end open and a way to walk along the carriage and walk back again and then close the door again, which is really interesting actually, because I've not seen that kind of thing going on in the animations carriage before. It's quite fun. What coaches are we pulling?
So we've got some Mark 1 BGs, I think.
The question we all want to know now is, are they staying alive?
Yeah, they're BGs. They've got Rake BGs on the parcels.
Nice.
Some speed up now.
And the guy at the level crossing would like to know for whom the whistle tolls.
For where? What? For the what? The whistle? Oh dear.
Hey Josh Murray, welcome. Always glad to have you here. Are you actually comfortable? It's not a dressing gown, it's a Someone said yesterday they were talking about your dressing gown. I'm not wearing a dressing gown, this is a jumper. Hey, British Ace fan, how's it going? With Jamie at the throttle, the viability of those BGs staying alive is dubious at best.
Oh, cheeky! Cheeky!
So this is Dumfries Carlisle, so we're eastbound, are we?
Yes, it is, yeah. So we're running to Carlisle and we were left from... where were we? We were at... Yeah, Dumfries.
Let's be down and that's Rex. My son says it's called a house. No, it's literally a jumper. It's literally a jumper.
Lasers, yeah, I'll do some facts about the class in a little bit. Just want to get the stream actually working first. Yes, there was a Britannia named Tornado, and actually Britannia herself recently got renamed as Tornado. I think it was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. For a rail tour.
I bet that didn't confuse anybody.
No, I don't think it did.
What loco have we got at the front? Tornado. Yay! Why is this not 60163?
Because it's not Tornado.
different tornado. What decade is route set in? So it's set right towards the end of when, I can't remember exactly what year, but it's set towards the end of when this line was in service. This line went through a bit of a checkered past, particularly the section we're on at the moment, the Dumfries to Carlisle section, where it was singled and then brought back into double track again, and then it was flooded and got rid of. Effectively this is meant to be, I think this is meant to be between the redoubling and the extinction of this particular section of line, which was killed off, I think, by Mr. Beeching. Interestingly, this route goes between two bits of, well, the line still exists. So if you pop up number 9 view and go to Stranraer, there's a junction just east of Stranraer, which is the junction that takes you up to Ayr, and in fact, so all of that is still in place in reality. And then you've obviously got the Carlisle north-south, but then you don't have it turning west at that place I can't remember the name of, to come down the line to Dumfries. Funnily enough, this route started out as a competition entry. It did indeed. So this route started out as the Port Road, which is the line between Carlisle and Stranraer. But it was basically, if I remember correctly, the very first bit was Castle Douglas to Kirkcaldy. And then it expanded back to Dumfries, and then it became a full-on commercial project when he then built out like Stranraer all the way back to Carlisle. So it's had a long history. This route's been in a lot of development, and it's always done really, really well. It's great fun to drive, and I hate going through Castle Douglas because the signalman there hates me. I was doing a scenario that I downloaded off Workshop, right, and as I approached the signal, it suddenly went on. So I stopped, jammed the brakes on and stopped. As soon as I stopped, the signal went off.
Oh, just the same signalman being like, here he comes.
Just wait. As soon as I started moving, on.
No.
Okay, it stopped. Off. Like, yeah, seriously, what? I spat. What's the green screen background? It's an A4. I don't know where though. Will there ever be destination labels on the map of Train Sim World 2? See, ever is a really long time, Firefox. Is it going to happen in the short term? It's not anything we're working on at the moment. Will it ever happen? Probably. Ever is a really, really long time away. Infinitely long.
Here we go. So, I have some facts about the Britannias. So, they were designed by Robert Riddles, and they were built at BR Crew Works between 1951 and 1954. There were 55 built all together. They weigh... so they weigh, the loco itself weighs 94 tons, and I think this is a BR1A tender, if I remember rightly. BR1A, which is BR1A tender, weighs 52 tons. So out of the 55, there's two preserved, which is Britannia and Oliver Cromwell. Oliver Cromwell's owned by the National Railway Museum, and Britannia's owned by a rail tour company, I can't remember the name of. And they started off their careers on the Great Eastern Main Line. And Oliver Cromwell, a little famous fact about Oliver Cromwell, Oliver Cromwell was the last British Rail steam locomotive to ever run. It did a run from was it Carlisle to Bressingham, or Carlisle to Norwich, I think it was, which was the last ever steam run, because it was light engine, it was going to be preserved. It was the last ever run of a British steam locomotive, because it was still running even though the last steam rail tours had finished on British Rail. That was
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Hi, Train Boy. Yeah, we tried changing the Twitch title. It rejected. Tried it twice. It rejected both times. I said, I don't know, I'll leave it as this is then. It accepted the change on YouTube, so take that what you will. Where do train sounds come from? Recorded off a real engine? Yeah, generally they're recorded off real engines, and yes, it is tricky. All train sound recording is difficult, because the first thing you've got to do is actually get to the train, and be allowed to strap microphones to it, and that takes quite a lot of organising. And it's harder with steam engines because they tend to be much more vibrate an awful lot more, and they work a lot harder to try and shake things off them.
37.
You're enjoying the main line, are you, Baked Bean Kid? It looked good on the previous stream.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Midland line is good, yeah. That is very good.
Awesome, nice one, Baked Bean Kid. I look forward to having a play at some point in the distant future. Do you remember the doorless seawall falling into the sea? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
It was around about exactly the same time we released Riviera in the 50s, which we thought was
I think, yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's basically exactly the same time. Black 5, Big Door. I think above Green Park, possibly at Kingmore Yard. One of them. Yesterday was your birthday, Hayden. Happy birthday.
It's mine tomorrow.
It's Jamie's tomorrow. That's why you all have to put up with me. Moricom is criticising that you're leaving the brakes on release instead of pulling them back to running.
This, interestingly, if I put it into running, it puts it straight into direct. You see that? So I'd already tried that.
Interesting.
Oh, we've got a speed change. Probably put the brakes on too much there.
You just dumped your whole brake line, yeah, really. I thought it looked like you were braking quite, intensively.
Yeah, I thought I thought the speed limit was slower than I was actually doing, but there you are.
Nothing like a little panic braking.
Yeah.
I've never done that. Oh, happy birthday, Skipper. So I've got you Southeastern Ice Peak. Nice.
I tell you what, I'm blowing off a good one. Look at that, look.
Yep.
Fireman's doing his job. Thank you for all the birthday messages, guys.
Yeah, just tested the safety valve, make sure they work totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, in reality, Steam Loco's a speed shaker, vibrator, ton seems a bit tamer in the sim. Yeah, it is very, very tame compared to reality. Very, very tame. It's I heard a story once of drivers on the LMS who would be in something like a 2P or something like that, going over Settle and Carlisle. I think that's where it was. And they had a journalist on board. And when they got to the sort of summit, or as they were coming up to the summit, they asked this journalist to sort of stand up toward, back towards onto the tender. And the driver whipped off his belt and strapped this guy to the tender. And he was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Just hold on." And he came round with the driver wedged himself in, the fireman wedged himself in, and they both clasped on, and basically the loco just went flying down the hill and shaking and all over the place. And they said, "Yeah, it's not going to come off the rails, but you might, if you're not holding on, you'll get thrown out."
Did he ever say what the loco was?
No, I think it was something like a 2P or something like that. I can't remember. Can you update me with OBS physics? We've only got one setting, 1080p and nothing lower. That's because we're not. This stream is not partnered, Moggy, so it doesn't have transcoding. So it can only be one setting.
Okay.
Can you do a kernel cam, says MLHST.
Can I do a kernel cam? Yes. Well, I'll put some power down, so...
Looks like the camera's going faster than the train, I'll let this.
As I say, we got into a bit of shrubbery.
It's David Bellamy said.
Flying along now. Oh, thanks for the 10 out of 10.
Why can't the engineer be electrocuted? Because he's not a conductor.
Oh, zero. I've been waiting for when we're beginning to get the puns.
You look forward to it every week, I know you do. Oh, has everyone, that's a good point, good shout out, Paul. Has everyone seen the TS 2021 Humble Bundle?
Yes, that's very good.
If you haven't seen it, go and have a look. Maybe one of the mods can post a link. The Humble Bundle is, I think it's, the last time I checked, it was like £8 for the whole thing, and there's actually quite a lot in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, have a look at that if you're interested in trains. You want it? It's called the Train Sim Expedition Bundle. I'm just going to have a look, see what it's got in it. Train Simulator 2021, the 4SIG, Acela, 67 Diamond Jubilee, the 423, Thompson B1, Strathclyde 101, BR Class 14, Challenger, Norfolk Southern SD42 High Nose, the BR 474.3, ICU1, £8.76, and we haven't even got all of it yet. Southwest Trains 444, BR Blue Diesel Electric Pack, Miami's Commuter Rail F40 PHL-2, HHP8, NJ Transit Arrow 3, BBICU 3, and the BR 185.5 RCE. All of that is £8.76.
That's amazing.
Awful. It's a lot. It's remember, if you turn to a Humble Bundle, this is supporting Gamehead's charity as well. So it's for a good cause too. So what I've noticed some people doing actually is on various communities is picking up it. And what happens when you buy something, if you've not done it before, when you buy something like this on Humble Bundle, you get when you log into Humble Bundle, in your profile you get a list of keys, Steam keys. And what I've noticed some people doing is they'll get the bundle, and then they'll pick out the bits that they wanted, and all the stuff they've already got or they don't care about, they go onto various community sites and just post the keys up. So there's people sharing all sorts of stuff around as well, with the keys that they don't want that they pick up. So it's all good, and helps everybody get a bit more as well. The base bundle is 73 pence. That's for the train sim and 5 add-ons. So yeah, it's pretty good way of getting started if you haven't got Train Simulator 2021 or you haven't upgraded to 2021 yet.
Yeah.
Merseyrail, Jamie is under controls tonight.
Yeah, there we go. Look, there we are. I'm controlling it. There we go.
Is this loco compatible with the push button control for the fire for the injection?
Push button?
Yeah, because you've just used the push button on the F4 HUD to turn that on. Will that work on this loco?
I'm not sure. I don't think it. Well,
because I'm just noticing your water is getting really low considering you're on a flat now.
yeah, I have got auto fireman on, but I mean he's got. Let me just check the injectors. I think he's got. He hasn't got. It's a lie. I think he has got them on. Yeah, he has got them on. Yeah, there they go. They're on now.
Merseyrail, background is Black 5.
Yeah, water's coming up now. Hello. No, talking about Black 5, there you go.
Hey there, bad guy. Wolfgang, would you ever consider selling liveries, wagons, or small enhancements packs? I have no idea. I mean, there's no plans for that stuff. But I don't. Never say never. I don't know. How long has the bundle got left? 12 days, 22 hours, 24 minutes, and 1 second, 0 seconds, 9 seconds, 58 seconds, etc. It does say actually on the link number 1 when you go there how much time there is left on it. Are we going to be able to create custom consists in TSW2? It is not something that is being worked on at the moment, Chief Engineer. It is certainly something that's on the great big wish list of things we would desperately like to do. But because Train Sim is really, Train Sim World is quite fussy about what works and what doesn't work with each other. We need to put in a system that makes sure that you can only couple compatible things together, because there's not really any way you could do it off the rails for having a Class 47 calling an ICE coach. It just, there's no way we can make that work because they use different systems and don't even think about trying to mix a vacuum braked loco and an air braked coach, for example. It's just not going to work. So we've got to make sure that whatever you plug in is going to work. And we also need to take into account, and even down to the pinouts on the electrical cables. So it's not just down to the coupler, Chief Engineer. It's down to braking types, down to the hoses that they use. It's down to the coupler, of course. It's down to the pinouts on the electrical cables. Although maybe that becomes less of an issue and things just don't work very well if you plug in incompatible trains. So it's something to be explored. It's not quite. It's definitely not as easy as just make something that lets you go bosh bosh. It needs some more logic in there. But can't we use the other West Somerset locos on the rail tours? I don't have a good answer for that. I just didn't think of it. I'm gonna have to be honest. I was kind of did the rail tours in a bit of a rush, if I'm honest.
Get some nice shots.
Baked Bean Kid had to clean out his spice rack and found everything was too old and had to be thrown out. What a waste of time.
No.
As puns go, that one was a right Basil.
Oh dear. Oh no. That's dreadful.
Hey, Mega Sim, how's it going?
That is dreadful.
Cringe, but I'm laughing at that, not gonna lie. Yep, indeed. But if it was Old Spice, could he have used it as deodorant? Exactly, Danny. I don't think Mate Being Kid is thinking outside the box.
No, he isn't.
Or the spice box.
Oh, we've now passed on to the English border. Look, there you go. Look, welcome to England.
There you go. Welcome to England.
And then, where's the Scottish border side?
The other side of the bridge. Left hand side.
Is it?
Is that the other side?
Oh, there it is. That's why I couldn't see it.
There it is, yeah.
It's coming the other way. Here we go.
What would you need ideally, Ace Kipper? More CPU gigahertz will make probably the biggest difference. If you've got a modest graphics card, as long as it's an Nvidia or not an onboard Intel potato-ness, then it's going to be your CPU gigahertz. So the more CPU gigahertz you can pick up, the better, and make sure you've got some sort of Nvidia or Radeon graphics. An SSD is always a good thing to have. It makes a big difference. By no means mandatory. Merseyrail, this is Western Lines of Scotland, and you're only seeing a tiny bit of it, and it is beautiful. It's a lovely, lovely route.
I will show you the map. There you go. So it's so big that you're going to have to scroll a bit. Look at this. So this is Carlisle down here, which is actually where we're going. Yeah, so it's quite a way. Look at that. Quite a length.
It's a very, very nice route throughout.
Yeah. We're now on the homeward stretch to Carlisle now. I'll probably put the reverse down too far.
Alex, can you ask a question about the train spotter? Go on. I don't know. Moggy, yeah, this was a Keith Ross route. Yeah, same as West Coast Main Line over Shat and West Coast Main Line North.
What a bridge coming up.
Oh, SSD. I was wondering why you were talking about not being able to buy a laptop without a SAD. SSD makes more sense then. Yeah. Probably not actually, because SSDs are obviously lighter on power consumption. So even on the cheap laptops these days, SSDs are so cheap. Water reflection.
That does look good, doesn't it?
When you add add-ons, the locomotive is not visible to select it. Why does this happen? I don't know what you mean by when you add add-ons, Dinesh. I would suggest actually go on the forums and explain what exactly you're trying to do. Yeah, you should be able to, what add-ons you've got, what add-ons you're trying to add, how you're trying to access them, and then someone can come and give you a hand.
There you go, Matt.
9F. All the wheels.
Oh, hello.
Make a scenario be 442 in it when you put all the passenger markers in. It doesn't at the starting station for passengers. I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean it doesn't do a load unload in the beginning? Southern getting robbed, yeah.
Yeah, it's a long way from home, that southern BG. Long, long way from home. 5 miles.
When you say you haven't been able to drive, what do you mean, Messerel? What's it doing? Yeah, I've always liked the HHP8's chief engineer. I was quite pleased with the one that went into Train Sim 1. I don't know when or if one will ever appear in TSW, but yes, I agree. I quite like them. So stream tomorrow, yes. We are showing off the new, which will be newly released as of tomorrow, Dresden line. So I get to drive that and fail repeatedly. It's just gone from your Kuni route selection. Have you, which no, it should show up for any type of loco. I don't know then, Zero. Yes, Crucible, that's the one. Yeah, we'll let you load at the start. I think there might be a limitation of the way it's currently implemented, Alex. Matt driving TS, that's nostalgic. What are you talking about? Until Jamie got his potato, I did all the driving. Now I'm being exceptionally lazy and taking advantage of the fact that Jamie's got a new PT.
No, it doesn't look good. Look at that.
Pavius, why does it say this is TSW2? Because Restream, really. Simply because Restream. What are your thoughts on Alco locomotives? Why are there so few of them? I don't know, Chief Engineer. I don't know. It is not a conscious decision.
Load of 37s everywhere.
I quite like the way the Alcos look. They're a bit different.
Fire's looking good.
You found the shed collectibles. Wasn't me. All the trains. That was one of the actually one of the engineers that decided he wanted to get creative one afternoon or one evening, and plopped those into the sheds. Didn't take long. It was just placing scenery items in, and he thought he thought about adding some more in, but he decided after he'd done the ones he'd done, he would leave it there. So it was just meant as a little bit of fun, and people seem to have quite liked it, going and finding them. I've still not seen anyone found the donkey yet, though. Disappointed. You're all letting me down, folks.
Haven't found the what?
The donkey.
Oh, the donkey with the hat. I must admit, I did try to look for that myself. Just have a look at Carlisle Depot. Look at this. Oh, another 9F there. Carlisle Kingmore. Kingmore even. I should know that.
Yeah, I love how he textured the ground all black. Why is there a donkey in every TSW route? Have you missed something? Why shouldn't there be a donkey in every TSW route? Just asking. Yeah, it's the art team's little signature. They like to have a bit of fun. Never actually seen the donkeys. There's a few in TS1 routes as well, indeed. I think it started in TS1, Danny. In fact, you possibly, I seem to remember something about a cow in a billboard at some point in the past. Do I have a favourite route in this game, or at least, or a least favourite? I don't really have least favourites of anything. Do I have a favourite? This is one of my favourite routes, because I like Steam, and this route is just really captures it lovely.
I'd agree with that
Weirdo.
one. Yeah.
It depends what I want to do, you know, because if what I want to do is American passenger, then clearly this is not the route for me. I don't drive the same route all the time. My interests are, you know, very, very diverse in trains. So, you know, for steam, it moved this Riviera and Beardale, you know, probably.
Look at this parallel running. Look at that. Weather 5 with the freight.
Just a hillbilly, I think I'll give that one a pass. Merseyrail, you prefer EMUs such as 507s, 508s, yeah, interesting. I like a bit of slam door as well. Since you mentioned American passenger, what's a good American electrified route? Yeah, the New York ones be my favourite probably. New York, New Haven, and the Croton line. They're probably my two favourite ones.
Look at that. Another weathered 5.
Or New Jersey coastline, yeah, that's good as well. Yeah, good shout, baby kid.
Now we're coming in. Another Brit waiting to go out.
Carlisle.
Yeah.
Do I have a model railway? My dad has a model railway. And back in the before times when we were allowed out of our bedrooms, we used to go over there and play trains on Dad's very big model railway. In fact, these days we do it all remotely. We do it all over Zoom calls. There's a bunch of cameras that are installed on the layout, and they all get put on the Zoom call, and the software that I've written to drive the railway means we can all drive remotely. So we can change the points, see what's going on in the layout, and just all drive, and it's just a really good time. There's Derek over there on the wall with his whiskey.
I did think that was I was trying to think. I know him from somewhere. I thought, there we
it
go.
was actually originally a picture, a Sean Connery advert, but then we realised there'd be branding problems, so Derek got created.
There you go, look at that.
Derek is our art director, train boy. Although he focuses a lot on Trains in One stuff, he also works with TS. Yeah, Derek said he also works with TSW a lot as well.
And there we go, we've completed that scenario. Thanks Merseyrail, I hope everybody... we got there in the end, so right. What I will do is I'll put it over to this, and we will get on to the next scenario. Which is... where's it gone? Is it this one? No, it's that one. There we go. It's that one. Yes, there we go.
Trains, locomotives have got really expensive over the last while for 00 gauge stuff. So I must admit, I've dialed my stuff back on the model railway stuff. But to be honest, Dad's got so much; it's not like it's desperately in need of buying new stuff.
I have a model railway as well. Not as big as Matt's dad's, but yeah, I've got I've got a nice little one. So.
You got a killer deal on that 350, didn't you, Danny? I remember that.
That is a very good
95
deal.
quid.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I remember when they were going for that price. There was a batch of them at Hatton's, I think it was, that were going for that price. And I was like, isn't that the grey one, if I remember rightly?
Here we go. So we are on Frankfurt U-Bahn. Hello driver and welcome to Ginnehelm station. Today you will drive this U1 service to Südbahnhof. As you can see, our train is made up of a single U5, 25 and two U4 sets. Set up the train and open the door for passengers. We depart at 12:32. The IBSIS code is blah blah blah. You must wait until 12:32. Close the doors and depart. You need to press Q for leaving every station for the announcements to work. So the interesting thing about this is it has got announcements. So let me get this startup done. So put the key in. We'll then put on the battery. You see the wing mirrors have just come up. And then put the pantograph up. And then main switch is on. Put it in forward. We'll then open the doors. Just do that. So what you do is you've got this little panel here. So if I put in you got that one. So we put 91 in there. 91. My mouse decides it wants to play ball, but 91 in there. Then click Zeal. We then put 711 in there, and then 712 in there. That then works. So I've got 2 minutes before I can close the doors.
It's tomorrow release day for Dresden. It is indeed top smart. We'll be showing it on the stream tomorrow. I think it's myself and Natalie tomorrow.
It is, yeah.
That's a lovely model, that.
It is, it's gorgeous. I've been playing about with this today so I can learn how to drive it, and it's really good fun. Got the tower in the back, look, as well. Open the windows up so we can hear what we're doing. I must remember to press the play button on there.
Yeah, there's a few buttons, Nick.
Yeah, just a few. I mean, I've got indicators on here. There we go. Look, if I press the indicator there. Look at that. There we go. Look at that. That cool. Turn off the indicators. Make sure I get the interior lights. Now, what is the interior lights button? Just get the interior lights button. V. Right, I can now close the doors. And go off. It's got great acceleration, this.
Josh, you plan to get TS? Well, you know, funny you should say that. On the Humble Bundle at the moment, there is a Humble Bundle with Train Simulator 2021 and some other DLC for 73 pence. Or for 8 quid, you get about God knows how much DLC to go with it as well.
Yeah.
Nächste Station, Niederpark. Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts. Bitte achten Sie auf
So yes,
die
if you're
Stufe
looking
zwischen
to,
dem Zug
if you're
und
sitting there
dem
thinking, oh,
Bahnsteig.
fancy a
Please
Train
mind
Simulator,
the step between the train
humblebundle.com,
and the
boom.
platform.
Yeah.
And feel good about supporting charity as well, you know. Double benefits.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it's about time to mention the Humble Bundle again, and Josh sets me up right there and then. It's just brilliant.
Doors are open. And need a park. Must admit, this is a massive route as well, so here we go, look at this. A massive system.
Oh yeah, so it's very good. There's a number of different routes, isn't there?
Yeah. Right, let's close the doors.
Is this Frankfurt U-Bahn, Backlin?
And it accelerates like anything.
Yeah, it is good fun, this one. It's quite fun. You have to spend a bit of time learning how the IBIS works, get the best out of that. But once you spend a bit, you read the manual and you figure out how the stuff works. It doesn't take too long, it's not hard. Then it does feel really good, you know, with the announcements going and so forth. Can you go over the safety system on the German routes for TSW2? I did a video on that, ladies and gentlemen, if someone wants to post a link to it, showing how to use them all in gory detail.
Yeah, I've been doing my reading up on that, ready for the challenge.
No pressure. Read the manual. No, watch the video, baby kid. Watch the video. It's the modern version of read the manual.
Yeah.
Whole map in one DLC, yes, Train Boy.
Close the doors.
Any discounted DLC sales coming to TSW2? I have no idea, Chief Engineer. Nobody tells me. How much is it? I don't actually know, Train Boy. Let me go and have a wee look on Steam. Which you could do, to be fair, but I'll do it for you. You just have to then convert pounds into dollars. Which will probably require a look up yourself. $27.99 in English pounds. Sterling. What do you produce for Dovetail Games? I'm senior producer for Train Sim World 2. Reading, it's a place west of Paddington, Hillbilly.
Yeah.
There you go, Moggy. Moggy did it as well. Great minds, Moggy. Great minds.
I must admit, I do love the stations in this. Look at that, look. Amount of detail.
Yeah, it is really nice.
We've got the room maps as well, look at that.
There is a bit on this route where you go past the S-Bahn as well.
Yeah, I think there is, yeah.
Which is probably not far from here, and that is part of the Frankfurt S-Bahn route. Which route is this? This is the Frankfurt U-Bahn.
Nächste Station, Heidenheimer Landstraße. Sie befinden sich in
Chief Engineer, roadmap will answer that question as and when the roadmap is updated and contains things that contain things like that. There's nothing announced or in progress.
Carry from underground to overground.
How is this Train Sim World 2 Scenario Planet? It isn't, but Twitch is being twitchy as far as changing the title is concerned. So we thought rather than continue to fight it, we just get on and stream.
Yeah. Braking acceleration in this. It's crazy. Do a nice over here shot, shall we?
Does it appease at BNC? I don't think it does, no, left all. Yes, you are, Baked Bean Kid, you are keeping me up. But this is not new.
Just knew I had a speed limit coming up, so that's why I slowed down.
Hey, Roy Fonseca, how's it going?
Nächste Station, Zahlweg. Umsteigemöglichkeit zur Linie U3.
Top Smart, I still drive with the HUD. I must admit, I generally use the F3 HUD, but the other reason that Jamie's showing this HUD is so that people who are not used to the game can see, you know, how you control it using the HUD. The problem with keyboard is no one can see what's going on. They just see the thing going, you know, the train starting and stopping, and we quite often get, oh, is this a video?
Good thing is you've got stop board markers as well, which is quite clever.
Where are we heading? To the end of the line. I don't know.
So we started up, where were we? We started up there. We've gone all the way down there, and we are currently there. And we are going to down here somewhere. Where is it? It is down there. There we go. So we're currently up there somewhere, and we're coming down to here.
Nice. How to find the manual for the train? Finding the manuals on TS is a little bit tricky. Some of them are on the website, live.dovetailgames.com. Select Train Simulator 2021, and a section for Train Simulator, for Train Sim World 2 and Train Simulator 2021. Then the other thing you can do is, if you go into the Steam directory, where the game is installed, there is a manuals folder, and you'll find all the manuals in there. Confusingly, in the settings screen, there is a button which says Open Manuals folder, and you'll find it greyed out. They won't tell you why it's greyed out, which is useful. It's greyed out if you're running in full screen, and if you run in windowed mode, then it is not greyed out and it will work. So that's the other option. Switch to borderless windowed mode. Try that. Was my favourite third-party producer for Train Sim World 2. I don't have any favourites. Stop Smart.
They're all good. They all do brilliantly, don't they?
Well, they do different things. So
yeah, they do.
Way too early to have favourites in them, because only really Rivet are only on their third add-on, and there's nobody else so far released anything. So Dominic, yeah, Rise of Dresden is released tomorrow, and we'll be showing it on the stream for anyone who wants to have a look before they decide whether or not they want to buy it.
Yep.
Silly question. What's the difference between full screen and borderless? Well, first thing, it's not a silly question at all. It's a very sensible question. And the reason, the difference is full screen, traditionally, graphics cards on PCs, and this does date somewhat back to before the current iteration, they kind of had to switch into a graphics mode, essentially, for video games, out of the normal Windows world. And so full screen mode throws Windows away and basically gives the game direct control over every pixel on the screen, directly, through the hardware, through loveliness, and it's very easy and very fast. Where that becomes a problem is like pop-ups don't work properly. It doesn't actually work very well with the whole Windows ecosystem. So you find that suddenly things aren't popping up, or worse, something will pop up and completely bang the game back to the Windows desktop again, just to tell you your mate's logged on Steam or something completely pointless. And so you then have to tab back into the game to do that. It doesn't just pop over the top, or Steam probably does because it has an integration, but something else would. You get my point. Whereas borderless windowed, it's like running it in windowed mode, where it just sits on a window, a bit like your Twitch window is sitting in a window on your system, so you can move it around and so forth. Borderless windowed. Imagine if you ran that window at the same size as your screen and didn't have any borders on it that you normally resize. It visibly looks exactly the same. The difference is it's now running as a normal Windows window, which means other things pop over the top of it, no problem at all, and it just works much nicer. I almost always use borderless windowed mode. It's even better if you've got multiple monitors. When you tab away to the other screen, quite often you'll find the one on full screen will then get popped back to the background again, and so you'll find yourself constantly popping it up on and off.
Yeah.
Whereas in borderless windowed, you don't get any of that stuff. So that some people on some graphics cards, some drivers versions, may find that full screen or borderless, one of them runs faster than the other. And some people have found that full screen is faster, some people have found that borderless is faster. So it's worth a try, but just generally for Windows compatibility and the way that it works with other Windows and so forth, I always run it borderless windowed. I just find it so much easier.
I mean, that's what I'm recording on. I'm recording on that at the moment.
Yeah. What types of things do the team of DTG have to do when you all come up with new routes to create? Well, the usual process of research, and yeah, basically research. Lots and lots of research, and learning the route.
Yeah.
Why sometimes the frame rates in Windows mode lower than full screen? Because the benefit of full screen is that the game is talking directly to the hardware. It's talking, it's a much tighter interface. So full screen is designed to give it better frame rates. But so like I said, some people will find Windows mode runs slower, and it's just down to how the graphics drivers are set up. Some people will find it runs the same speed. So yeah, if it's one of those things that if you're fine running it full screen, and it's not causing you any problems at all, then leave it. But if you're finding, like, for example, Airspeed Live says he's always wanted to fix whether it's clicking his second monitor, closing the game on the main window, then give it a try. Run it in borderless window, see if any of the irks that you've had in the past are suddenly resolved, and if so, then great. Can you run Xbox multi-screen? Nope. Does this line go underground? I believe it does, yes. In fact, we were underground a minute ago, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
Yeah.
I know someone's asked how old I am again.
He's at least 84. He doesn't look it, but...
For those who want to know, I'm 23 today, 24 tomorrow.
Matrix, I have a question. My 5400 RPM mechanical hard drive is not doing well. No, not a 5400 RPM. Wow. And I'm planning to buy a 1TB SSD. Are SSDs better at performance than hard drives in TS? Yes, yes, and thrice yes. especially when you're going from a 5400 RPM disc. It's going to be like putting in the nitrous. Yeah, that's going to make an epic difference. You'll find load times are reduced a fair bit, not massively, but a fair bit. But more importantly, you'll find that the inter-frame load times, as you're driving along, where you get the stutters and so forth, on a decent SSD, and depending on the SSD you get, you could find those, you know, approaching vanishing. So it's well worth it's well worth it. Yeah, it's gonna be good for you. Panch, thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying it.
Thanks for all the messages, guys. Thank you.
Moggy refuses to use SSDs when there are perfectly good cassette tapes still available. Well, Luke, you use the cassette tapes. I'll chuck a couple of zip discs your way as well, Moggy, just to say. Well, what was iOmega's backup? They had like a DAT backup type system that was all proprietary. Trainboy, what was your previous question? Just type in the question. Could you put Train Sim on the ZX Spectrum? No, but can't play Houston Consultants, Southern Belle, and Evening Star.
I watched the video of that the other day because I was wondering what it was like. I was amazed at that.
It's very good. Yes, I use M2 NVMe's as well, Chief Engineer. I've got 2 of them in my main desktop machine, and I think my laptop's got 1 built into it as well.
I know someone's asked me, do I know what a cassette tape is? I have a load of VHSs.
That's not what he means by cassette tapes, though.
No,
he means like a C90. It's not a C90.
I'm not 100% sure, but...
It's a 90-minute cassette tape for audio. It's a little thing with, you know...
Oh, those little ones, right, yeah.
You know, when you see the meme on Facebook that says, if you know what the connection between this cassette tape and this pencil is, then you're above a certain age.
Right, I know you, yeah.
Because you'd rewind the cassette tape with the pencil.
Pencil, yeah. Yeah, I know them, yeah.
Do you know what a floppy drive is? Indeed, Chief Engineer. In fact, I had a machine which had twin 8-inch floppy disks.
I think my dad has some floppy disks, yeah.
I mean, no, I was looking at a couple of train DVDs, and then I realised I don't actually have a machine there's no DVD player in this room, or Blu-ray player. My laptop doesn't have one, my desktop doesn't have one. It's like, okay, apparently I've moved on away from old tech now. It's all got to be digital or nothing.
Yeah.
Although, ironically, my Xbox Series X probably would play it, but...
Yeah, they do, actually. I don't know.
Yeah, Video 125 do. This wasn't Video 125, it was 7idea.
Video 125 are great.
Yeah, they're really good. We got a lot of their stuff on DVD. You remember installing Win95 with floppies? Me too, Silator. Oh my god, the stack was this big.
Now going underground.
Jamie is an old guy and a young boy. Yeah, I can tell you.
You're not the first, and you're probably not the last person to tell me that.
5 1/4-inch discs, yes indeed, Chief Engineer. In fact, I had a 3.5-inch disc drive for my Sinclair Spectrum. I had 2 different systems actually. One of them was based on an Opus Discovery, and the other one was based on the Plus D. But yeah, the idea of using a 3.5-inch floppy disk with a whopping 720 kilobytes of storage was you know, it was amazing compared to tape. I mean, things loaded in the same evening. It was ridiculous.
Has anybody got any laser discs? That's a cheap point.
Never owned any, but knew people that owned them, and you know, most of them regretted it, to be fair.
The good thing about Laserdisc was literally the covers on them. It's like having a vinyl.
I do like a bit of vinyl.
Yeah, same.
Your first computer was an Amstrad. You used cassette tapes. That was what, a CPC 6268 or something like that. Rock and roll train. He says, digging out of his memory. Although they did make the Spectrum, their own version of the Spectrum. They called the Spectrum Plus 2, which was basically the corruption of Amstrad and Sinclair into one thing. What's my role at DTG? Ham.
And mine's chicken.
I'm senior producer for Train Sim World, so I sort of look after the team and that are making it work out. You know, help, part of working out what we make and how we make it, and I also get involved with some of the content itself. I did some audio work the other weekend, and then timetable work quite frequently. Everything basically is you know, I do a bit of everything, and I basically annoy most people. And what's the top speed on this route? Not particularly fast, I don't think. I mean, it says 60 kilometers an hour at the moment.
I think it's about 70. I think.
Yeah, 70 says Moggy. Yeah. Oh, yours was the Spectrum, Rock and Roll, the Plus 2. Audio as in horns and whistles, that kind of thing. Yeah, it wasn't horns and whistles. I did play about with the depot whistle on 395, but no, I was playing with other stuff on stuff. I do voiceovers as well, yeah, Roy. I've done the voiceover for 465 as well. I'm doing all the voiceovers at the moment. That has been a bit of a problem with the whole lockdown, because you need recording equipment and not just the equipment, but a setup that allows you to record cleanly without lots of background noise. While I've got the appropriate, you know, I've got the microphone here for doing, you know, decent recordings. I don't have the, you know, in the garage, I don't actually have a quiet environment, whereas my wife does VO stuff professionally as well. She's done some of the stuff in trains, so I go and use, she's got a little booth set up upstairs, so I just go and use that and do VO. But not everybody's got that. You can imagine there probably aren't very many people at all who've got that. So yeah, while we're in lockdown, it's a bit more difficult to do the voiceovers. So I'm doing them all at the minute. It's just fun. I quite enjoy it, to be honest. And I love listening to the sound of my voice. In case you hadn't noticed.
Oh dear.
Chris Penny, I didn't see your question. If you want to ask that again.
Trying to have a look on here where it is, but yeah.
Rui Fonseca, in one of the tutorials, I am tempted to say, and you'll be going nowhere. Let Sam do it. If Sam wants to do it, I don't. It's not up to me, Silater. Have I ever been to Frankfurt? I have, briefly, on the way to Bonn.
Have you? Ah.
Yeah, I went to Star Trek convention in Bonn twice, and we went in. I think we flew into Frankfurt and then trained from Frankfurt to Bonn. I seem to recall. Yeah, Moleman was originally going to do voiceovers for stuff as well. Yeah. I think it might be, no, it wasn't East Coast Week. I think it was East Coast. It was one of the ones, I think. But no, there's a big difference between having a decent microphone and actually having a recording studio. I mean, if you were to see the way my wife has the recording booth set up, you know, the word studio is liberally used, but when it's all sealed up, it is painfully quiet in there, which is perfect.
Oh, you don't hear your voice like go off the wall. I've been in a recording one, and it's just like, it's so dead, you know.
Well, it's basically the size of a cupboard, and it's got all this sound deadening material around it, and you just basically clip up the sides, and you know that's it. There's no sound coming in. Everything you say is deadened, and that's it. So it was they were cracking conventions as well, Nick. One of them we saw they had the entire cast of Voyager was there, not to mention Nichelle Nichols and Leonard Nimoy and John Delancey. It was epic. Hey, game music. Oh, it's funny as well. One of the bits there, they did an auction of a bunch of different stuff for charity, and one of the things they auctioned off was a script from one of the Voyager episodes, complete with all the notes that one of the cast had made on it, which obviously, you know, was really, really precious for somebody. And they got this script, and a little bit later on in the day, they had Jerry Ryan up on the stage doing a question and answer session, and someone said, "Can you act out a bit of one of the episodes?" And she said, "Well, I haven't really got a script." So of course this woman who won this auction for the script was like, "I've got one of your scripts." And so she couldn't really back down at that point. So she called, I think, remember rightly, she called that person up on stage, and the two of them acted out a scene from Voyager. Talk about living your dreams. You have an autograph photograph of Denise Crosby. Excellent. Yeah, she was really good in TNG. My wife showed me, because I'd never really realised it until she showed it to me, that her final episode, I think, is the one before her actual final episode. Because at the end of it, you can see there's a cut where she waves to the camera. And so, because, you know, they film them in different orders to the way that they're aired. The last one she filmed in was after the one with the blob. Spoilers. Yeah, there's a scene where she's in the cargo bay, and as the doors close, she sneaks a wave in.
Coming in nice and steady. Once you get used to driving this, it's a pleasure to drive, I must admit.
What was your interview like with Jeff Marshall? It was great. Jeff is a really top bloke, really, really good. He was very interested in everything that we were doing, and knew an awful lot. It was really good. How many takes did it take for you to record the Southeastern High Speed intro? I do most of them in one, and maybe one, and the odd bit needs I cough or my throat goes funny or something like that. I know sometimes I misread it, and there's not been much that's been particularly humorous. It's mostly just been when you listen to it, you'll say it and you're like, no, and so you reread it again, just with slightly different timing. But most of the time it's in one or two. But the
Thanks, LaserJet.
Oh, sorry, Chris, I missed your question again. How many takes does it take to pronounce LG Mediterranean correctly? Well, I had French language coaching from one of our localization people just to make sure I said it correctly. Because I said what I was going to say, and they were like, yeah, no.
This is quite cool that you can actually drive it in the driver's cab, but drive it from like this.
Can one of the mods just whisper me what Chris Penny said? Sorry, I can't. I didn't see it. That's nice from the passenger view.
Is that a bit clever or what? I did that. So she get in the front bit, so I can actually do the doors. Another big station. This thing. Look at this.
The lighting in these stations is really nicely done.
It is, isn't it? I imagine that's the Bauhaus. But no, it's not a Bauhaus museum, is it? Trying to think what.
Those floating tunnels, though. So, would you like the camera to be buried in the mud, then, Train Boy? I mean, what would you be expecting to be outside the tunnels? Just asking.
Last stop coming up.
We'll be able to add custom signs or livery images to TSW Artillery. It's not something we're working on at the moment.
Nächste Station, Südbahnhof. Fahrtende.
You expect
Bitte
nothing less than
umsteigen.
magically floating tunnels. Well, good.
Umsteigemöglichkeit zu den
We like to
Regionalbahnhofzügen,
deliver the right
zu den
experience, Trainboy.
S-Bahn-Linien S3 bis S6, zu den Straßenbahnlinien 14 und 16, zu den
Wish Twitch had
Buslinien
the chat had like a
54,
search facility so we could
47,
just find somebody.
48, 61 sowie zu den Regionalbussen.
Oh, does the East Midland Railway license cover both Train Simulator and Train Sim World? I don't know the specifics of that license, Chris. Some licenses do, some licenses don't. These days when we get a new license, we try and aim to get it for both, just so that it's there. But
The clever bit is it's automatically changed as well, so now the destination board automatically changed without me having to do anything.
that is cool.
It is I must admit, the audio announcement system in this is really, really good. And even look, even the destination boards there have got it on in there as well. Look at that.
That's very good. Harry, no, I'm not going to read out the question. No, not at all. Huge fan of what Richard does, and Armstrong Powerhouse. And in fact, they help us with Train Sim World as well. So, no, not at all. There's nobody that I dislike in Train Sim. They're all doing good things, and they're all providing content that everyone enjoys in Train Sim. What's not to like? Am I a Red Dwarf fan? It's cold outside.
There's no kind of atmosphere. Well,
You.
that makes two of us then.
It's my go-to. It's one of those, things where everybody around you just, there's certain catchphrases that everyone, oh no, you've set him off now, that kind of thing. It's just, and one of those is when someone says, "Oh, it's cold outside," you've got to say, "There's no kind of atmosphere."
Yeah.
It's the law.
And there you go. I can literally go no further. Look at that. And we're here. No, not there. There we go. So I'll walk down this. There you go. Look at the junction here. Look at how clever. Look at that. Yeah, I did fail it because I wasn't on time, for anybody who wanted to ask.
Tusk.
Oh dear. So there we go. So there's our both scenarios for today.
Is there any possibility to activate PCB without having a numpad enter? See, this is a problem that I actually have myself, because as you'll see, this is my keyboard, which has no numpad enter. And what I did, I bought a USB keyboard, not a USB number, a number pad type thing, so that I had an NP on that. There is no way of doing it if the loco isn't set up. Some of the ones from third parties use Shift 6, 7, and 8 to turn those functions on and off. But no, mostly it's Control Enter, Shift Enter. Yeah. Why drive Jamie and not Matt? Matt can drive one ride, then Jamie. Well, because we're not in the same room, same county, part of the country. Essentially, in order to do that, we'd have to stop the stream, and then the other person would have to start the stream, and well, what a faff, basically.
Yeah.
So no, we generally do it. One person hosts the stream and runs it, and then ideally, he and I would be alternating, but I'm being exceptionally lazy at the moment. So, and I'm doing the TS stream tomorrow for Dresden. So, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
There we go. So we have two great scenarios there. Also, for those who are aware, I've now put a bit in the forums, so that regularly what I will do is every Workshop Wednesday there'll be a new post go on there, and that will show what scenarios we have driven and on each Workshop Wednesday.
There you go.
So you'll automatically have a link so you can go and download it and enjoy it for yourselves.
That's really good. Who were the 2 scenarios by?
That's a good question. I did not get them.
Oh.
I should have got them up. You know, I should have done. But they were very good.
But Toby, as P. Jan Croce said earlier on, you can. There is software out there. I'll leave it for you to find it, where you can remap keys. So you could remap so that's like Shift 7 issues the Control Enter key, for example. Harry, are rail drivers compatible with TSW2? Yes, but only on some trains. TSW2 and newer are compatible with rail driver. It's in a beta. The support is at a beta level at the moment, but it's there in the latest versions.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. We're there.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Glad you've been with us.
Yeah.
And I will be back with Natalie tomorrow, taking a look at Dresden Racer, which I am really looking forward to seeing. Actually, it looks the screenshots I've seen, it would look amazing.
Yeah,
so it'll be my first look at it.
Yeah. I'm then back on.
Go on.
I'm then back on Friday, I think it is.
Challenge.
I've got the Munich challenge. Yeah. So we're going to see how well that's going to go. Fingers crossed.
Nice. Yes, that should be good. I'm looking forward to that. It's an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
Have you been doing your learning? Have you practiced?
I've been practicing. I have been practicing, and touch wood so far. I mean, I have had a couple where I've gone through because I haven't read the signals right, but I've learned from that, so I know what I'm doing right now. So fingers crossed.
Give us a spoiler. How's your scores looking in comparison?
Well, on my practices at some stations, I was beating Sam. So
This should be exciting.
Yes, it should be exciting.
It will end in absolute misery and despair.
Yeah.
With a red light pass, or there's the chance.
Yeah.
There is the chance. The crown may be taken.
Yeah. So
well I should be rooting for you.
But tune in on Friday, guys. Same time as usual, and we'll see if we can get a good score.
Excellent. Okay, on that note then, folks, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you soon. Bye.